Good day, sir. I am Raffy Jay M, Gelbore, and I'm gonna discuss a brief history of information technology. One of the most important things in digital world is being able to tell story and help people envision of the art of the possible with respect to different technologies. Ang iningako talin kay Jamie S. Miller. The invention of modern computers is the beginning of the rapid digitization and growth in the amount of data created, shared, and consumed that has transformed society and the way people live, work, communicate, travel, and play. There are four main periods of the history of information technology that affects us today. First is the pre-mechanical, second mechanical, the third is electromechanical, and the last is electronic. Pre-mechanical, between 3000 BC and 1450 AD, the earliest age of technology. When the humans first started communicating, they used language to make simple pictures, petroglyphs to tell story, map their terrain, or keep accounts such as how many animals one owned, etc. Example of a petroglyph is the petroglyph in Utah. Bali ang amon sa pinaka-early nga gamit nila sa pag-communicate ang pag-ukit nila sa mga bato. Next is the mechanical. Between 1450 and 1840 AD. It started when we started the connection between our current technology and its ancestor. Example of mechanical information technology is the slide rule or ruler was invented, an analog computer used for multiplying and dividing. Amon sang sa right side na photo. Another example is the Pascal line. Pascal line was invented by Blaise Pascal, a very popular mechanical computer capable of adding, subtracting, multiplying, and dividing two numbers, also known or also called as arithmetic machine, that was granted a royal privilege by King Louis XIV of France in 1649. Ang photo amon isang Pascal line. Next is electromechanical. Between 1840 and 1940 AD, this started the beginnings of telecommunication. The technologies invented during this period were Morse code, telephone, radio, etc. These technologies were crucial stepping stone towards modern information system. During electromechanical era, na-invent nila ang pag-communicate through Morse code. Amon isang daw pintok-pintok kapag communicate, telephone, radio, kag mas damo pa. Ang electromechanical era has a big impact towards information system. And also, there is electromechanical nagsugod ang telecommunications. The photo represents the engineers on Harvard making the Mark I, a telecommunication device. Last is the electronic. From 1940 up to present time, machines invented during this period use electronic switches like vacuum tubes instead of the electronic mechanical relay since it's more reliable. ENIAC, the electronic numerical integrator in computer, was the first electronic general-purpose computer invented during this period. Ang electronic period naman, ang muling ginagamit natin sa buong like communicate instant na via internet. Computer generation. The development of computer system has caused the development of different generations that resulted in the advancement in computer technology. Initially, the term generation distinguishes hardware technologies. However, with the advent of computer technology, it refers to a change in technology a computer is used. There are 5 computer generation as follows. First generation from 1946 to 1959. Second generation from 1959 to 1965. The third generation from 1965 to 1971. Fourth generation from 1971 to 1980. And the fifth generation from 1980 to up to present. First generation. Computer used the vacuum tube or harmonic valve. The input of this system was based on punch cards, magnetic tape, and paper tape. The output was displayed on printout. Computers work on binary coded concept or the so-called machine language. Example is the ENIAC, EDVAC, UNIVAC, IBM 701, IBM 650. The ENIAC was the first electronic general purpose computer. The second generation computer. Computers that were developed used transistor technology. Size was smaller, mas lumaysya kisa sa first generation. Computing time was lesser, mas dasig siya. COBOL, Fortran languages. Ang COBOL kag Fortran languages is programming code languages nasa computer used multi-programming operating system. Third generation. Computer used the integrated circuit technology. Amo man siya para sa second generation nga size was small, computing time was lesser, but ang third generation naman consumed less power, generate less heat, maintenance cost was low. Computers for commercial use, high-level languages, Fortran 2 to 4, COBOL, Pascal, PL1, Basic, AGOL 68, etc. were used. Ang ginagamit naman nila was high-level programming languages sa third generation. Fourth generation, computers use microprocessor technology. Dari na siguro ang sa fourth generation gagamit sa mga microchip or something small nga mga bagay sa ila computer. Computers were very small in size, portable, generates very low amount of heat, fast and reliable, affordable, that gives rise to personal computer or PC revolution. Sa fourth naman, dari na ang mga tao nga may kasalang makakuha sa ilang mga personal computers. All high-level languages like C, C++, D-Base, etc. were used in this generation. Fifth generation includes hardware and software. When we say hardware, amo ini ang physical parts sa computer nga nagaprocess ang data, while the software is set of instructions that tells what to do on the computer. VLSI, or the Very Large Scale Generation Technology, became the ULSI, also Large Scale Integration Technology, resulting in the production of microprocessor chips. Dari na naglaang sa 5th generation nagluluwa mga microchip processor having 10 million electronic components. All high-level languages like C and C++, Java, .NET, etc. were used in this generation. Next is the history of computer timeline. From the start, the computer was used to solve serious number crunching crises and not for entertainment or merely for email purposes. Hereunder is a timeline of the history of computer, how it evolved from their humble beginnings to the machines of today that serve the internet, play games, and stream multimedia aside from doing a lot of computations. During 300 BC, Pingala invented the binary numbering system. During the 1942, Leonardo da Vinci invented drawings depict the inventions such as flying machines, including a helicopter, the first mechanical calculator, and the first programmable robots. During 1614, John Napier invented the Napier's rods or Napier's lugs and bones, a system of movable rods based on logarithms, which were able to multiply, divide, and calculate square and cube roots. During 1622, William O. Thread invented the slide rule or slide ruler. During 1623, Wilhelm Schickard invented the calculating clock. During 1642 naman, Blaise Pascal invented the Pascaline, a mechanical adding machine. During 1671, Gottfried Leibniz was one of the founding father of calculus.
I am Airowynn G. Balceta, BS Crim 3.
Evening, sir. I'm going to report lesson 2, the generations. We have the power to make this the best generation of mankind in the history of the world, or to make it the last. John F. Kennedy. In the 20th century, according to historians, generational naming began. The term lost generation was coined by an American writer, Gertrude Stein, specifically to those who were born in the 20th century, whose lives were devoted to service during the World War I. The term generations, according to Rosenberg, is defined as social groups of people born within a defined period that shares similar cultural traits, values, and preferences. Three key trends shape generations, namely parenting, technology, economics. These generations' names and age span differ depending on the country and or region as presented in the figure below. First is the baby boomers from 1946 to 1964. Second, Gen X from 1965 to 1979. Millennials or Gen Y from 1980 to 2000, and Gen Z from 2001 onwards. Generation naming according to Neil Howe and William Strauss. Period from 1900 to 1924. GI generation or generation interconnection, 1925 to 1945. The silent generation, 1946 to 1964. Baby boomers, 1965 to 1979. 13ers or Generation X, Gen Z, 1980 to 2000. Millennials or Generation Y, 2001 onwards. New silent generation or Generation Z. Who are the millennials? Millennial varies across the regions, and not all of them possess the same character. They are described as millennials are born between 1980 to 2000, considered as the dawn of the new age, and are called the first digital natives. Time magazine. They are socially connected via multiple devices and are in some instances bordering on the obsessed with social media, as with selfies. According to the Philippine Association of National Advertiser or pana.com.ph, 1/3 of the population in the Philippines is made up of millennials aging 15 to 35 years old. Essential characteristic of each generations. GI generations. They saved the world and then built a nations. Letter B. Traditionalist or silent generation. Hardworking. They believe that you earn your own way through hard work. Second, they have willpower. Silent generations survived Great Depression. Third, loyal employees. Traditionalists are civic-minded and loyal to their country and to their employers, and stayed with the same employer throughout their entire working lives. Number 4, they are respect authority. They are raised and taught to respect authority. They respect every individual who is higher than them. Number 5, waste not, want not. Traditionalists tend to be thrifty. Number 6, can be tech challenge. They are the slowest to change their work habits and to adapt to new, more efficient ways of doing things. Number 7, they're traditional. Traditionalists value old times, morals, safety, security, and consistency. Letter C, baby boomers. motivated to work. Baby boomers have good work ethics and do not shy away from hard work. Wala gid sila nahuya nga magubras, nga magpaningwa sa ilang kabuhi. Number 2, smart decision making abilities. As this generation has been very dedicated to their work, they are influenced by rational decision making. Number 3, self-assured nature. Baby boomers were brought up in instructed and disciplined house. Number 4, competitive in nature. One of the significant motivators for baby boomers for excelling in their professional lives was competitiveness. Mga grabe gid, wala ka suko. Competitive gid, katama. Number 5, dedication towards goals. Baby boomers are very goal-oriented. Grabe gid maningwa para mawat ang ilang mga handom sa kabuhi. Number 6, highly resourceful. One of the most popular traits of baby boomers is their resourcefulness. Ang mga mautak, diskarte. Number 7, confident in nature. The generation has significant confidence in the future. Number 8, disciplined in nature. Baby boomers have grown up in well-structured and disciplined household. Mga madisiplina ni pasaway. Number 9, liberal for cultural identities. The generation had grown up when there was a lot of significant social change going on. 10, focused on nature. Baby boomers are also very concentrated mentally. Grabe sila ka-focus sa isa kabagay na hindi mo gid sila masabad. Number 11, team-oriented. While baby boomers are competitive, they also like working in teams. Grabe sila, may mga teamwork yun, may diskarte. As a team, hindi lang bilang isa ka individual. Number 12, aware of civil rights. Baby boomers are more conservative as compared to their succeeding generation. Generation X, entrepreneurial. Generation X has good work ethics and does not shy away from hard work. Same man sa baby boomers, gabi man may hard work man nga ginatawag kag ang ilang good work ethics sa ragid. Number 2, focused. Generation X is also very concentrated mentally. Same as man sa baby boomers nga focus gid sila sa isa ka bagay. Personal life, this generation has grown up witnessing divorces and violence, and thus they are very cautious when it comes to marriage. Medyo maingat na sila pag-abot sa marriage kag sa date kay na agyan nila ang pag nakitaan din nila ang mga pagkabaylinte kag divorce nila mga ginikanan. Technology. Gen X remembers a time when they were in school and computers were not yet available. Generation Y, curiosity. Gen Y is a curious generation in general. Simple lang na dyan. Curious gid ang mga Gen Y. Individuality. All millennials are unique in their ways and have their own personalities. Bali ang kada isa may kinalanlain gid nga pamatasan gid pang gawe nila sa ila isig pareho. Social awareness. Millennials like to give back to the community. Ang buot man. Ayaw man ni sila kay may kabalo magtulok kung din sila nagalin. Financial stability. Millennials are driven towards making decisions that lead to financial stability instead of becoming rich. Mas focus na nila nga maging maayla pangabuhi, hindi sila nga magmanggaranon gid pero nga mag stable nila pangabuhi, nga may income nga nga makakaon sila sa tatlo ka adlaw. Innovations in technology. Millennials are particularly a digital generations. Kita naman sa mga kabataan kung paano sila mag-usar sa mga gadgets. Number 6, multitasker. The generation is good at multitasking and can handle multiple tasks and responsibilities at the same time. Work and life balance. The generation likes to maintain a healthy balance between their professional and personal lives. Letter F, Generation Z. Innovation in technology. Gen Z is a digital generation just like Gen Y, who are born into a time of rapid digitization, have great obsession with technology. Nabuhay na ni sa teknolohiya mo ni nga hapos na sa isa ka bagay ay tungod nga may digital na tasig na lang pangitaon tasig nga brown kay may bulig na sa technology. Number 2, connected. As Gen Z is a technologically advanced generation, they are also very connected. Do close gid sila no gid hindi lang nga technology advanced, they're very connected with lifestyle. Generation Z is highly accustomed to the high standards of technology, high standard good, and having numerous resources for information. May mga sources sila sa isa ka bagay nga inakuha nila sa information. That would be all my report. Thank you so much.
Lesson 3: The Rise of the Information Technology Era. Information age and the internet. The advent of electronic computers has made the information age possible. This is characterized by the shift from traditional industry to an economy based on information digitization. So sa information age, this is the time or period that is very accessible and convenient to have in terms of communication. Dire na din involved ang mga smartphones, social media, and mga online videos. History of the internet. Today we live in a world of technology where internet spans a web of interconnectivity around the globe. Through internet, more than 50 million people in countries around the world have been connected. Internet was evolved in 1969 under the project of ARPANET, called ARPANET or Advanced Research Project Agency Network, to connect computers at different universities and US defense. Soon after that, the people from different backgrounds such as engineers, scientists, students, and researchers started using the network for exchanging information and message. So sa pagbaligya sa mga engineers, scientists, kagiban pa, naka-invento sila sang technology for exchanging information. Kung sa una masulat ka pa sa papel para ka exchange message or information, pero subong isa na lang ka chat or text, makasend ka na sa imo nga message. The internet has been the main source of different fields like education, science, research, and other develop, design, and do many other things. It is tangible entity that relies on physical infrastructure to connect a networks to other networks. Internet timeline. In 1962, DCR Licklider first coined the concept of intergalactic network of network computers. After ARPA or Advanced Research Project Agency was created by the US government, and packet switching was introduced by Leonard Glenrock. In 1964 to 1967, a typical packet switching network was created by Donald Watts Davis at the National Physical Laboratory in Britain, which involves revolutionize the data communication in various fields. Additionally, the message block concept was also passed during data communication by Paul Baran from RAND Corporation, US. In 1965, one or wide area network was created, connecting through long-distance dial-up between TX2 computer in Massachusetts and Q32 computer in California. The packet switching term also comes into existence for better data connection. In 1969, ARPANET structure proposal was written to design the network structure. The physical interface message processor or IMP was designed that links to 4 different universities and data packets are sent between network computers. In 1972, IMP also rapidly increased with 23 hosts. Eventually, the email or electronic mail was introduced by Ray Tomlinson that can send message across distributed networks. Packet switching was done by connecting 20 different computers, and first computer's address registry was created. In 1973, the era where first TCP/IP protocol and Internet was invented that interconnects various computers networks for communicating with each other. The TCP allows the users log into a remote computer and download files. In 1982, the first internet connection was established in Asia by Kin Lam Chon, which is known as SDN or Software Defined Networking and later termed as Internet. In 1983, the first DNS or Domain Name System was introduced with network addresses to identify an organization by edo.edo.com, .org, and etc. In 1984, the first Unix network was developed in Japan, and the first email was received in Germany. In 1988, the first internet exchange point was established by connecting TCP/IP networks and first commercial and non-commercial internet networks. It was also the year when the first ISP or Internet Service Provider was created by Daniel Kahrenberg. In 1989, Internet was growing worldwide and Dr. Stephen Goldstein plays an important role of evaluating and funding for development of Internet. It then helps to connect about 25 countries to NSF net. After then, the first WWW or World Wide Web was created by Berners-Lee and the first web browser application for Mac OS. In 1981, World Wide Web is available for public use over the internet that has load of information in various fields. In 1992, the first surfing the internet was used by Jean Armour Whallie, and net surfing was coined by Brendan Kehoe and a Usenet post. It's also the time when audio and video multicast came into existence. In 1994, the first website was launched by White House named as www.whitehouse.gov, and then many other commercial websites were launched. In 1998, Google opened its first office in California and web publishing tools were introduced. In 1999, browsers came into existence where Netscape and Microsoft shares almost 100% of market. Napster was introduced for music rights. What is World Wide Web? The World Wide Web was invented by Tim Berners-Lee in 1989. In 1995, the first connection was established over what is today known as the Internet. By the end of 1990, the first web page was served. In April 1993, the World Wide Web technology was available for anyone to use royalty-free basis. Since that time, the web has changed the world. It became the most powerful communication medium the world has ever known. The global web of computers, known as the Internet, allows the individual to communicate with each other, often called the World Wide Web. The World Wide Web or WWW is an internet-based service which uses common set of rules known as protocols to distribute documents across the internet in the standard way. The World Wide Web or web is a part of the internet. The web is viewed through web browser software such as Google Chrome, Internet Explorer, Mozilla Firefox, etc. The difference between internet and World Wide Web: the internet is non-interconnection of computer networks. The internet is a massive network of networks. The World Wide Web or web for short is simply web, is a massive collection of the digital page to access information over the internet. The web uses the HTTP protocol to transmit data that allows application to communicate in order exchange business logic. So ang difference between World Wide Web and the internet is ang www is a website kag ang internet ang kinahanglan ni World Wide Web para ma-open siya or magana.
Thank you, Mr. Roben Villorente. Good day, sir. This is Whallie R. Donasco. What is search engine? Search engines are the programs which are needed to extract the information from the internet. They play a very important role in our daily routine. Web search engines work with the help of two programs: Spider, which fetches as many documents as possible, another program called Indexer reads the documents and create an index based on the words contained in each document. Ang search engines is amo ni sa ang programs nga or amo ni sa ang mga Google, Yahoo na diri ma-search ang mga users para maka-access sila sa ang ilang site na gusto nilang atuan. A search engine works in the following order: web crawling. Web search engine work by storing information about many web pages. Indexing also known as web indexing and stores data to facilitate fast and accurate information retrieval. Searching: a web search query fetches the result of the web search engine entered by the users to meet his information needs. Ang web crawling naman sa ang ka-store sa information, while ang indexing naman niya ka-store sa data to facilitate. Ang search naman niya amo ni sa ang dire search ang mga users or ang mga people para maka-access sila sa ilang gusto katuan nga site. Kung gusto nila ma-met ang information na kinahanglan nila. What is browsers? According to Techopedia.com, a web browser is a software program that allows users to locate, access, and display web pages. In common usage, a web browser is usually shortened browsers. Web browsers are usually primarily for displaying and accessing websites in the internet, as well as other content created language such as hypertext markup language or HTML and extensible markup language or XML. Ang browser sa muna mo siya ang baga pa do application nga dire ka makadto para makakadto ka pala sa site na gusto mo do, as well as para sila sang web search engine, pero ang web search engines nasa do under sa browsers. Amo sa browsers ginagamit para do malocate mo pag ma-access mo ang gusto mo katuan nga ara sa website or ara sa internet. Early beginning of the web browsers. Early web browsers started prior to the beginning of the 21st century with a text-only browsers called links, and another browsers called Mosaic. Later, Netscape, Navigator, and Microsoft Internet Explorer emerged as the two main choices until the launch of Mozilla Firefox in 2004. Meanwhile, Apple Safari products launched in 2003 and became the standard operating system of the company's iPhones in 2007. ang history of the web browsers or abili ang panimula ang ginalinan sa web browsers ay isang 2000s or 21st century. Nagsugod din sa 2000s ng up to today na nagsugod sila sa browsers nga ginatawag nila nga links nga text only lang, wala ka makita ang image kag para sila sa mosaic or mosaic. Sa pag-agi sang chimpo, paglipas ang panahon, nakaobra sila sa Microsoft Internet ang Microsoft Internet Explorer. Nag-obra sila sang isa ka browsers nga ginatawag nga mo sila Firefox. Ini nag-start sa 2004. Tapos while naman ang Apple company naman niya or ang Apple products, nag-ubra naman sila sa ginatawag nga Safari nga nag-launch na sa 2003. What does a web browser do? Essentially, a web browser handles HTTP activity between a client and a server that is backbone of the World Wide Web use. The URLs are traffic directions for the web browsers, and the browser uses IP address and other tools to establish this connection. As you can see, this is the example of browsers. Brief history of email. Computer engineer Ray Tomlinson invented internet-based email in late 1971 under ARPANET or ARPANET. Several major innovations occurred: email or electronic mail, the ability to send simple message to another person across the network in 1971. As you can see guys, dali naman ang email nag-start sa gali sa 1971 nga ang nag-una nga nag-ubra si Ray Tomlinson asa subong sa 1971 nga asa subong magamit agapon ng email. Ray Tomlinson was experimenting with a popular program he wrote called SNDMSG that the ARPANET programmers and researchers were using on the network computers. Digital PDP 10S to leave message for each other. SNDMSG was a local electronic message program. The first email was sent between two computers that were actually sitting beside each other. The ARPANET network was used as the connection between the two. The first email message was QWERTYUIOP. Ray Tomlinson is quoted as the saying the invented email mostly because it seemed like a neat idea. No one was asking for email. What's in an electronic mail or email? What is an electronic mail or email? Electronic mail is a way of exchanging digital message between people using different computers. Email operates across computers networks, which in 2000s pretty much means the internet. Some early email system required the writer and recipient to both be online on the same time, sort of like instant messaging. By 1993, the word electronic mail had been replaced by email. The public lexicon and internet use had become more widespread. Ang electronic mail or email gali mo siyang ginagamit sa subong bisan kami nga estudyante, magpasa kami sa mga project namon, ginapaagi man namon sa samon sa email kay mas dasig siya kag mas safe, mas klaro sa marambatan sa amon nga teacher. By 1993, ang electronic mail had been replaced by email. Sa unang ang pagganogid gili sang email sa una tawag sa electronic mail. The @ symbol. Ray Tomlinson chose the @ symbol to tell which user was at what computer. The @ goes between user's login name and the name of his host computer. As you can see sa aton nga email, makita mo for example sa akong email ng whallie.donasco@gmail.com. Nang sa akong nga email, makita ang pangalan tapos ang amo na sang ga-indicate kung diin ka nga browser sa len. For example sa Google Mail ka amo na at googlemail.com. Example amo na sa example sang email. sang at symbol nga ka-connect sa host sang computer. What is URL? Also known as web address. A URL or an uniform resource locator is a form of URL is a standardized naming convention for addressing documents accessible over the internet and intranet. Ang URL mo ni sang link bla sang isa ka site nga pwede mo na siya makopy para ma-post mo sa isa ka text para ma-send mo or ma-email mo sa isa ka person. HTTP or HTTPS. The HTTP standard or hypertext transfer protocol, it lets the browsers to know which protocol it's going to use to access the information specified in a domain. An HTTP protocol is a short hypertext transfer protocol secures to indicate information transmitted over HTTP and encrypted and secure. Ang HTTP naman niya or HTTPS is amo na sa ang tinatawag nila nga hypertext transfer protocol. Amo na sa ang ginagamit sa mga browsers na para mabalaan nila nga kung diin nga protocol nga ginagamit or diin gagamit sang isa ka information. Ang HTTPS is a short for hypertext transfer protocol can indicate information transmitted over HTTP and encrypted and secure. HTTP or HTTPS. The HTTP standard for hypertext transfer protocol. It lets the browsers to know which protocol it is going to use to access the information specified in the domain. An HTTPS protocol is short for hypertext transfer protocol secure and indicates the information transmitted over HTTP and is encrypted and secure. Next is WWW stands for World Wide Web and is used to distinguish the content which portion of the URL is not required and many times can be left out. Ang www dot amo na sa ang daw ginagamit para sa isa ka site para mag-distinguish sa isa ka content or sa isa ka sites para mag-search ka. ComputerHope.com. Next, ComputerHope.com is the domain name for the website. The last portion of the domain is known as the domain suffix or TLD, top level domain. It is used to identify the type of location of website. Ang ComputerHope.com may mo sa ang ginagamit para mabalaan mo kung ano sa type, kung mabalaan mo kung anong location sa isa ka site. Jargon U. Next, jargon and U are the directories with where the web page is on the server. In this example, the web page is two directories deep. To find a file on the server, it would be in the public-html/jargon/u directory. URL HTML. Finally, URL HTML is the actual web page on the domain you're viewing. The trailing HTM is the file extension of the web page that indicates the file is an HTML file. Other common file extensions on the internet include HTML, PHP, ASP, CGI, XML, JPG, and GIF. As you can see, this is an example of a URL. Amo na sa example. Makita mo sa website name mo na sa www.internet101. Ang type of site naman niya mo na sa URG. Domain name naman niya mo na sa internet101 lang. Ang transfer protocol specification naman sa HTTP. Document name mo na sa start/html. Where is URL located? A URL is located at the top of the browser's window in the address bar or omnibox depending your browser window on desktop computers and laptop. Unless the browser is being displayed in full screen, URL is always visible in the most smartphone and tablet browsers. The address bar containing the URL will appear as you scroll down and show the domain when visible. Ang URL mo na sa dili sa makita. Ang URL makita niyo sa gina-searchan naman sa babaw sa isa ka browsers. Makita ang URL mo na sa do link ba? Amo na sa URL. Do link ang link mo na sa URL. That's all our report, sir. Thank you.